Well, I'm now joined by Segun Solanke in the studio this morning. He's the president of Olumo United Football Club. Good to have you here.
Nice to be here too.
Well, let's talk about Olumo Club. I'm sure Olumo Club is a name that has been, of course, the football club is a name given to that club after the popular tourist center, Olumo Rock, and it's been officially launched as a proposed Division 1 club. Now, tell us more about the club, the discovery, putting the club together, and, of course, the short and long-term goals of Olumo Club.
Okay, Olumo Club came into existence just very near future here, and we have decided that we wanted to come into the football league to change the perception, to change the way everybody sees football.
Yeah.
Most of the time what we have in Nigeria is that we tend to want to look outside. We want to look at the Premier League, we want to look at the Bundesliga, we want to look at the La Liga and all that. But then what happens to the ones that we have here? I have been guilty for a while also. Never get to watch most of our local matches that much.
Yeah.
I watch once in a while. But then we have the talents here. We build the talents from here, but we end up selling them outside the country. So Olumo United has come to stay and has come to change the perception of how we see our footballers. We want to grow it, we want to bring back the business, and we want everybody also to begin to see what it is like to see our own boys play on our own soil, and then they can move from here outside.
Very true. You touched on the Nigerian Professional Football League. When we get to watch some of these games, yes, some of them are quite interesting to see, but not everybody gets to know about the league because we don't get to see these games on our screens.
Yes, please.
Now we know about Olumo Football Club now, but how much of it are we going to see on our on our TV screens, or do we still need to go to YouTube to get YouTube highlights?
Oh, well, social media is good for the game. We'll surely be seeing quite a number of our games on our own social media, but we are also working in a way to see that we get live streams and then bring it on to the TV where majorly we can have enough participation of people watching the game. But you see, it all boils down back to what the league team managers also want. I know that the NLO are also planning on live streaming of the game, but like you said, do we get to watch them on TV? I'm sure that plans are in the making to get them watched on the TV, because how do you get to know your players if you don't watch them on the TV?
True.
How do you get people to even fall in love with the game? How do you want even the sponsors to get their wide coverage? It all has to be on the TV. And I'm sure that very soon you'll surely be seeing them on the TV.
All right, now we know about the whole coronavirus pandemic, and I'm sure it has affected the club in one way or the other. I learned the club was officially launched sometime in April.
Yes,
Now,
April 17th precisely, which was my birthday.
Oh, wow. So a belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Now, we went on the whole lockdown crisis, let me put it crisis for want of word, in March.
Yes.
And of course, football has not been played since that time till now. How has this affected the club?
Oh, it has really affected greatly. We actually set out to have a trial, an open trial for people to come in. Let me also quickly put in that we here marked that from 17 to 25 of age, we wanted them to come for trial. And we already set out a date for them to come in. But by virtue of the lockdown, it's stalled everything.
Yeah.
So right now, everything is as good as on hold until the lockdown is eased. Yes, the federal government has also said, okay, some of the things can begin to work and all that. But if you notice, nobody has mentioned sports yet.
Sports, yeah.
So we are still on the lockdown mode. But as soon as the lockdown is over, you can be rest assured Olumo United is going to come out and we'll be doing our trial.
All right, I spoke to a particular club owner some time ago and asked him, what is the point of running a football club in Nigeria when the prize money you win is lesser than what you spend managing a football club? Now, I would like to know the challenges you faced running the football club Olumo United.
You spend more, you win less.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't make a business sense. But the passion behind it is what keeps everybody going.
True.
So we want to get to that level where we can now cross the bridge to the other side when we begin to make the money. And to make the money means that you need sponsors. What makes people abroad make money is always from the sponsors, from the TV rights, and all the paraphernalias, from adverts, your models, and all that comes into the game. That's where the money comes in. So that is what we want to do. With Olumo, you can be sure we've started getting some invites here and there for sponsorship. I'm sure many more will still come.
Yeah.
But we are sure that when we finally get on board and we begin to build, everybody else will see that this is the way a football should properly run and to make the money out of it.
Very true, because the sponsorship actually goes a long way in keeping the player and, of course, keeping the club afloat. We've seen a couple of football clubs, privately owned clubs in the MPFL who are doing well, but it still boils down to what they get to win at the end of the season, which isn't so much compared to what the club spends. Let me just put you on the spot. Would you want to tell me, because this other guy, he said he buys about 3 bags of rice every week to feed about 22 players. Do you want to give us a little bit of info on how you get to feed these players?
Okay, so if he's buying 3 bags of rice to feed 22
players, yeah,
22 players
every week.
Every week. Okay, we are to be having 35 players in the minimum.
Wow.
So imagine what you have to go through. But you see, that's why I said eventually it all boils down to what you get, the sponsors that come around, the individuals or the other investors that you have. So everything comes together and we all now see how we can get to run it. Because whether you like it or not, nobody's going to be playing football with an empty stomach. Nobody's going to be playing football when there is really nothing to gain at the end of it. So we encourage them to play football, to enjoy the game, and don't think about what you want to eat. Don't think about where you want to go. Yeah. Now, there's another part of it that always bothers me, and I say that to Olumo United players, that very soon, be sure that your name will be on the mouth of everybody in Nigeria. Because I can think of 1, 2, 3 players abroad, and I'll probably be able to tell you all about them, how they play, who they are, what they do, and all that. But here in Nigeria, how many do we know? A player will probably pass by you on the road, and you never know that he plays for any football. So those are kind of the things that we want to change here. You should be able to put a face to the name, and you should be able to put a football name to their face. And that way, we could grow, and we could make more money, and they don't have to think when we begin to pay them the actual worth of what they are doing.
Wow, nicely said right there. Now, let's look at, because you mentioned from the ages of 17 to about 25, that's the age limit you're looking for the trials now. What is your scouting system like and the transfer mode for your club? How do you get a source for these players?
Okay, we have referrals, definitely. And I have the chief scout with Paul Ogunlaja. He's been doing a great job, I must say. But we've decided that this time around, let us also make it open. There are quite a number of talented young individuals who they don't have the opportunity of referrals, but they want to also be there. So we have said, okay, this time around, we are going to make it open. If you are sure of yourself, come on board. We will be having 2, actually. The first leg is going to be in Lagos, while the second leg and the final one will be in Abeokuta, where it's going to be our own base. Okay. And we also have what we call ourselves. We call ourselves the citizens. Yeah. So when you say, oh, are you an Olumo citizen? Yes, it means that you are our fan. Okay. And when we say citizen, I must also correct some people, because we've been getting some calls on that. Oh, does that mean that if only you're a citizen of Ogun State, you can play? So no, not at all. The citizen is just the name we've given to the club, just the same way you have the Gunners for Arsenal, you have the Red Devils for Man U. So for Olumo United, we call ourselves the citizens. And we are hoping that very soon, on the mouth of everybody in Nigeria and abroad, you will be hearing I am a citizen.
Nice. Of course, I know about the football club Vandresa. They've been doing so well, and I believe that Olumo will also do the same to get out there to play quality football. Now, still looking at transfer and the scouting system, from some of the clips we've seen, I'm seeing kids play football. Are you of the notion of catching these players young, because it's good to actually groom them from when they are quite smaller at a young age? When you groom them to the professional level, they become world beaters.
Believe me, there's nothing that I stand for other than to catch them young. We have an academy that is already ongoing. It's called Kids Sports, and that's the clips that you've been seeing. And in fact, my son Patrick is also part of it.
Nice.
And believe me, he's just 10 years old. He will soon be 11, and he's a great player. Be sure that what we believe is that we should catch them at this young age and build them and nurture them to stardom. Nigeria always have these issues that we've had over time, and that's when everybody asks you, how old are you? Yeah. And they will say, is it a football age or is it a real age? So we at Olumo United don't want to do that.
True.
We want your real age. Play what your age mates can play, or you play better than them, to prove that you are better at the world-class level. And that is what we are preaching. So if you're coming to Olumo United for trial, just know that you have to come with your real age and show who you are.
Okay, maybe I would have to lie about my age, because I think I'm 23 and your scouting agent is a friend of mine, so I think I want to play for your club. So I'm 23, I need to come play. But as we go, let's talk about, because some time ago we talked about the Nigerian Professional Football League not having players who are good enough to feature for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I hope Olumo will change the narrative.
We are here to change the narrative. That's exactly why we are here. We want you to have that confidence in us and say, oh, which club can field those that are good? If tomorrow comes and the national team is looking for local players to pick up from, I'm sure Olumo United will be the best bet to come to.
Wow, nicely put out there. Of course, talking about Olumo United Football Club. We're looking forward to them, and hopefully they'll get to play in the Nigerian Professional Football League someday.
Oh, very soon, very soon.
Very soon. Thank you for making it down to the studio and talking to us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, that was the president of Olumo United Football Club, giving us an update on what's happening right there in the football club. And of course, we're looking forward to having them play in the Nigerian Professional Football League. And maybe I'll get a jersey and call myself the Citizens. Well, that's much you can take today on Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. Thank you for watching the show. If you enjoyed the package, keep it locked down to Plus TV Africa. I'm Udoka Njoko, wishing you the very best of the day.